Welcome back to GRC. Thanks for joining me. Tonight I'm going to be talking about in more detail how I went on the race on Sunday, looking at my qualifying, and I've got some footage of my actual finals so we can have a bit of analysis around what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and also my thoughts, what I'm going to change and do for the King of the Hills race, which is in about maybe 8 days time. So it's pretty exciting. Can't wait for that. That's a massive event where we're going to have a full day of two-wheel drive and a full day of four-wheel drive. So yeah, some pretty serious prep required for that. And I might be able to sneak in some practice on the Friday before. So looking forward to that as well. Before I go any further, I've got an announcement to make. So Campbelltown Hobbies are now sponsoring the show, which is, they're sponsoring GRC, which is fantastic, or sponsoring me. So I'm really happy to have them on board. It's a no-brainer for me. For those who do race in New South Wales and Australia, you would have heard of them. They're massive supporters of all the clubs. They just get around so many places in rural Australia, New South Wales, and also in Sydney, and they support all the big races and all the clubs, and they do so much. They're fantastic. I've bought all my stuff through them since day one. They're just so good for the hobby. Really, both Michael and Steve are both avid racers and very, very good, strong, fast racers, so they know all about it and got great advice. I'm really happy to be associated with them. I'm happy to have their support, so thanks. And yeah, I'll be getting a lot of parts and stuff through Campbelltown Hobbies, as you'll see in my videos. And so yeah, we'll make sure that we talk about them, and you know, like I could talk, if you've got any questions about how they operate, please feel free to reach out. But Campbelltown Hobbies sponsoring the GRC, really happy about that, and I'm great to be part of the team. So thanks, guys. Right, so without further ado, let's start looking at, I'm going to play a clip now which has some of my footage I took on the race day in my pits, about when I first raced on the track for the first time, and also after the qualifiers, how I was going. So I'm going to cut back to me with some commentary after we watch some of the clips, and then we'll go and watch some of my final footage, and we'll talk about that as well. So enjoy, I'll be back soon. Here we go, cutting back to the race on Sunday. G'day guys, had my first run on the track. It was really good, really enjoyed it. A couple of technical parts that I think I worked out over the course of the session, just quick 5 minutes. Car's a bit messy, I have to clean it up now. You're weighing up whether to get some practice time and spend the next hour cleaning your car, but thought it was worth it for the brand new track. Really happy, pretty optimistic about the day. We'll see how we go. I paced myself against a few guys and it felt like I was going all right. Won't know till we hit the first qualifying. See how we go. Alright, I'm off to cleaning. Okay, first round of qualifying is over. I qualified 9th in the two-wheel drive and 10th in the four-wheel drive. So pretty good. I'm in the top 10 for both. There's like 52 entrants in the two-wheel drive, so it's a massive field. There's 30 something in the four-wheel drive. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm really happy. Both cars felt really good. Two-wheel drive felt amazing. I kind of need to get a bit faster because a lot of fast guys had a bad qualifying. They're going to get quicker, but I felt good. I don't think I want any changes in that, just drive a bit better. Four drive was really good. I came 10th, but I was 0.6 of a second off 7th, and I lost a second in my last lap. So it's a bit disappointing, but anyway, really good. I think with that one, I went soft tyres, M4 in the rear for that one, so I'm going to go back to M3s. And once again, I had first two laps were 31-second laps when the rest were 28s. So I lost 6 seconds on the first two laps, so I need to get better there. But it was good. Yeah, happy with that. So see how we go. Another round of qualifying, and we'll see how we go. So far, so good. So as you can see, had a great start. I was very the track at Hills is really interesting because it does change a lot of the course of the day. Like we start racing at say 8 o'clock in the morning, and it goes to like 5. So you've got a lot of heat of the day in the middle of the day. The track conditions change a lot. It dries out a lot. They do blow the track to get the dust off, but it gets dusty at times. So it's not always easy to know what to do. So as you know, I've been running stand-up on my two-wheel drive because it is a track that's fairly bumpy and it can be dusty. And in the morning that day, it was a little bit damp. As you can see, my car had a lot of mud on the tyres. So I was really fast. Like felt so comfortable with two-wheel drive. Heaps of grip in the back. I was able to rip it out of the corners. Felt really good. And I came 9th. Like I was qualified 9th in Q1. So it was all plain sailing. The four-wheel drive was really good. I should have come better. Like I think I'll talk about it later, but I lost a lot of time just having poor laps, and then still managed to, I came 10th in the first in Q1. So yeah, at that point in time, I was feeling super confident. As I said, I've made the A mains consistently for the last 3 or 4 race meetings, but I've always been on the edge of just making it. So it was interesting that once the track dried up for Q2, and at Hills they do rocket round. So basically you have 2 qualifiers, and it's just your fastest time on the cruise qualifiers. It's not, some races I've been to, they rank them. So if you come 10th in the first qualifier, then you've got a 10th rank, and if you blow out the second qualifier, you still got that 10th rank, and then the tiebreaker is your time. But this one they just do rocket round. So if the track speeds up in round 2, which it actually did in this instance, it almost completely negates qualifying 1. So it's got its pros and cons. That's how they run it. That's fine. But yeah, so in this instance, I was 9th from the two-wheel drive and 10th from the four-wheel drive. And then with tyre selection, it's always hard to know what to do. I'm really looking forward to the state titles there, because they use a controlled tyre, which is the whole shots, Proline whole shots. So just knowing everyone's on the same tyre and same compound is going to be so good, because for someone, it could be a disadvantage if you don't know what tyre to pick at the right time. So anyway, we'll now cross back to the pits again, and I'm talking about after the Q2, and we'll see how I went then. All right, qualifying is over. Two-wheel drive didn't go so well. The second one, the track sped up a lot and I slowed down. So I ended up being 24th. So I think I might sneak into the Bs, not sure. Four-wheel drive was much better. I went much quicker and came 11th overall. So might be in the back of the A's for the four-wheel drive and the back of the Bs for the two-wheel drive, but I'll find out soon. Not sure, the track just sped up. The circuit is different to normal. I'm finding it much faster. So I'm just, yeah, I might need to definitely go to bars for the finals, I think, get off the pins. So that would be one thing. But other than that, I'm not really sure other thing about it. But yeah, at the moment, I'm trying to find out what finals I'm in, and then we'll go from there, and I'll start recording those. So yeah, it'd be cool. But have a great day. It's been fun so far. Massive field, everyone's really friendly, enjoying it. But I just need to, forward drive is a bit disappointing, but it happens. I just need to get better. All right, cool. I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I'm in the A mains for the four-wheel drive, 11th out of 12 on the grid, and I'm on the B main, back of the grid for two-wheel drive. So yep, looking forward to it. I'm going to switch to bars. Going to go electrons. I think the track is pretty fast, doesn't look very dusty, and yeah, I'm really keen. So I think I can do well. I'm hoping the four-wheel drive, two-wheel drive and the Bs, hopefully I can, yeah, do well, get some good results in the A's for the four-wheel drive. So we'll see how we go. I'm keen all round, loving it, loving the circuit, can't wait. So yeah, switch to bars now and finals are on. Right, so as you can see, I completely blew out in the two-wheel drive. Now it was interesting. So my two-wheel drive time in Q2, I actually went 3 seconds slower. So I did use my Q1 time. So what got me 9th in the first qualifying, that same time got me 24th in the second qualifying, and essentially everyone went faster. So it was, and I didn't. So it was interesting. Now I've got, you know, I don't record my qualifiers, like film it, so I haven't got footage of it. But I remember it being, I made a few mistakes, but the car just wasn't competing as well. I was slower compared to the people because I was qualified. They put me in the A's for qualifying, so I was in the fastest qualifying pool. They're like pre-seeded sometimes. So I just found with the stand-up on the new layout is all curve to curve. It's not like a punchy straight into a coil, punchy straight. It's kind of a flowing curves, and you really need to maintain your corner speed. And with the stand-up, it's not made for that, right? So I kind of feel, even though I was, you know, on the campaign of making stand-up great again, yeah, I don't think it's going to serve me well on the new layout. So this week I'm going to switch back to the layback, the standard layback transmission, and which means I'm going to have to reset this. It's a shame because I've been building up really nicely with the old layout, with my stand-up and the setup around that. Because when you got stand-up, it changes the way the car works. So you need flat front, you know, wings, front arms instead of gull wing arms. So I've made all these changes for stand-up, but I don't think it's actually suitable. And to be honest, even for ride, now ride started up again. Ride is a very high grip track. It's a clay, so it's a clay, yeah, very high grip. So even for that, the stand-up wouldn't be good. So its days were numbered. So I'm going to have to go back to the layback. I'm going to do that. Now I'm going to probably reset to Lachlan Donnelly setup again. Like I kind of copied him into forward drive and it worked well for me. So I'm going to do the same, but I really need to, I'm going to have to do it fresh. And once again, the next race is going to be a big race, King of the Hills, but I just don't feel confident sticking with the stand up through it. In the forward drive, I got faster, but I ended up going one place back. So the track sped up for forward drive as well. But because I managed to go faster, I managed to get a similar qualifying, which was really good. So it's probably a good thing for me to miss out on the two-wheel drive, if I'm honest, because I started taking it a little bit for granted. I was just going to do it by turning up and making A mains, that is. And really, I'm not at that level. Like I mean, there was good drivers like Brad Verco. I think he missed out on the A main for two-wheel drive. So did Jeff Go. So there was good drivers in the Bs with me. It wasn't as if it was. It's pretty competitive field. It's a big club, 52 drivers, and there's on any given day, there's pretty much 18, maybe 20 top drivers going for that A main. So I've had a bit of luck in the past to make it, but it wasn't to be today. But it is what it is. Okay, so we know that I was 12th at the back of the grid, 12th out of 12 in the B final for two-wheel drive, and 11 out of 12 in the A final for four-wheel drive. Now, the thing about when you qualify at the back of the grid, there's an art form to how to race these races. And believe me, I've had a ton of experience starting at the back of the grid because pretty early on, I got through the Bs and started making As, and I just kept on sneaking into the As, and I'm kind of still at that point now. So I had a lot of experience at the back of the grid. Now, one of the things when you're starting at the back is that you don't want to have that broken, like you don't want to have break away from the pack because you're 12th for a reason. There's 11 faster cars, so trying to catch them up once you've given them a big gap, and they've already starting with a gap in front of you anyway, is super hard to do. So initially you want to avoid the incidents in front of you and try to get as much ground as you can in the first 2 laps. Then by that stage the race settles down, the cars are stretched out, so if you can ease into a rhythm mid-pack, then you've got an opportunity to either finishing mid-pack is quite good if you start at the back, or you can maybe creep a few places to get up there. So I'm going to play the tape and go through some of my races, just the first 2 laps of a few, and we'll talk about what they're like. Some of them are going to be pretty bad, but this is what this is all about. I'm not saying I'm better than I am. So the first one is the B final for two-wheel drive. So I'm just going to put the screen up and then we'll press play and we'll see how we go. So I'm starting at the back of the grid. Where's my car? There it is there. So, okay, I'll start at 12 and I instantly go to 10 on the first corner and I go to 9 on the second corner, which is quite an amazing start. Now, just trying to keep my nose clean here. Another incident, I take 2 more. So now all of a sudden I'm 7th. Now when you're starting 12th and you're 7th halfway through the first lap, that's pretty amazing. That's exactly what you want to happen. Any better than that is just unthinkable. So essentially I nudged this guy there, kind of racing incident. Anyway, so then we come here, so I'm 7th after the first lap, which is really cool. Now then this happens, so there's another incident and I managed to kind of avoid it. Then I do a 360 and then I hit someone else and it's horrible. Now what's happened here, I'm just going to pause it there for a minute. So even though I maintain my position, I think I'm still 7th. Yeah, there's still five cars behind me. What we've done to each other is see the gap to the car 6. We're pretty much long shot to catch that car now for the rest of the race, even though it's the second lap. I mean, I say long shot, but they're all faster than the guys who are me or behind me. So when the back markers do that, we're now fighting for 7th place for the rest of the race. So I'm going to go through the 3 races. So I'm just going to keep pressing play here. So and you can see on the jumps here, the rhythm section down the bottom, that yellow car, like I think that's the first place guy. Look how far ahead he is. So, yeah. So because we were stuffing around, we've given up so much time. Now, so I'm 7th. This is lap 2. So here we go. We play. And then at this point, you just got to consolidate. Like someone made a mistake there. So we've caught up a few more. But I'm still in 7th. And then there's an incident there. Now I hit them. If I missed that then, I would have overtaken both of them, but I didn't. And then I'm a bit off the racing line and we're all a bit messy. Now at this point, we haven't let the race settle. So that's 2 laps and we're still kind of jostling and it's a bit messy. Now in this race, I think I ended up 8th, which, I mean, honestly, if I start 12th on the grid and I'm 8th. Now, forgetting for the fact it was a big final, I didn't think I was faster than the guys. There was really fast guys in that race. I'm not going to presume I should have went better. I thought 8th was pretty good, but I had opportunities there to be 5th or 6th if I just kept my nose clean. And often it's better to just slow down a bit those early laps. It's not worth tangling, even if, you know, if someone's driving a bit erratic, it's often good just to give them a bit of space because they're going to crash anyway and you'll just cruise past them. So it's my average driver tip right there. All right, cool. I'm going to press play. Now I think I now switch to the next race. So here I go. This is 4 driver. This is a disaster. This is the A main. I'm 11th, as you can see. Straight away, I'm 11th. I'm 11th. I've got one place to 10th. So but the snake here, we're keeping up. Now I'm braking a lot here to keep my nose clean. I hit those 2, but still get them. So I think now I'm in 7th. Now I should be in 6th. I am, and then that happens. Now that was a disaster. It wasn't really my fault, but essentially it was my fault because I hit the guys who stacked in front of me, right? So if I just back this up, you'll see here, right here. Is there 3 cars there in that pile up? And that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would go into 7th place if I just avoid those 3. What do? I hit them. Then I get stuck. Now, I still take them. What that's done, when someone's crashed, often they're going to try to make the position up, right? Particularly in an A main where they're all good drivers. So me bumping into that meant they were right up my bum. So when we press the tape here, we come around. There's another incident here. Now this is 2 more spots I could be taking. What do? I hit it, go on the rope. Now, me going on the rope, I kept my position, but what happens? Bang. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm actually in 6th place here in an A main, starting 11th. But I get that happens, and then I've lost 2 more places, and then that happens. Now, this is hard to watch. So that wasn't my fault, right? We're going around the corner. I had a decent distance. The dude clips the corner, flips. I hit him, and what happens next is going to go down in the annals of fantastic driving. So watch this. I do that, and then I go, oh, wait a sec. Oh, I've got over him here. I'm going to accelerate a bit more. And then I do that. And then I'm on the grass. Then I try to come back, and I'm back into 12th place. So that whole sequence was a disaster. I realistically should have been in 6th place if I just avoided the guys in front of me. And for some reason, I kept hitting. I think 2 or 3 times I hit a crashed car. Now, if I was just taking it easy a little bit more, it's a good chance I could have avoided those and been in 6th, but now I'm in 12th. So my first lap, it's ecstasy and agony here. So I'm in 12th, coming around for the first lap. Now, all these guys here, there's a big gap. Like these 4 cars, maybe the 5th car. So the back 5, there's a bit of a gap to 6, and the rest of the top 3 are out of our reach after us stuffing around so much. So then I hit the pipe, just ignore that. Now this is lap 2. Let's see what happens here. So I'm in 12th. There's a crash, right? I avoid it. I'm in 11th, and coming around, not a very good racing line. The thing is, what's very difficult is to stop all those things affecting you. So I'm on the stand now going, dude, should have been in 6th. What am I doing? And I'm not concentrating on the road. So yeah, it's RC car racing is so much fun, but it really is a mental game. It's so mental in terms of just, you have to concentrate. And they're 5-minute finals, right? They're not a long time to concentrate, but yeah, having the mentality to not let things like that affect you is not easy. So anyway, we come down. I'm in 11th, which is where I started, and yeah, okay. So this is okay. I'm staying with the guys in front of me, but essentially, all right. So I've just the car that flipped there on the hairpin. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that. No one's around me, but that's going to put me into 12th. And at this point, I'm wasting time. I'm cracking jokes. So I say that flippantly, it's not a waste of time. Nothing's ever a waste of time. This is valuable track time on a brand new layout. But yeah, I'm not going to make anything out of this race. So in that race, I think I ended up 11th or 12th or 10th. I didn't make any places. Four-wheel drive was like that for me the whole time. So the reason why I went better in two-wheel drive, obviously, because it was in the Bs. So I think in the Bs, I think the next race is the third race in the two-wheel drive, and I consciously said to myself, drive slower, do not try to go nuts. And this was by far the best race I did of the day, and I ended up 6th. Now, it doesn't sound amazing, but the thing is, yeah, I'm at the back of all the grids, and I think I came 8th, 9th and 6th, I think, in the two-wheel drive. But in the four-wheel drive, I was pretty much 10th, 11th, 12th. I was at the back, and I came at the back. So in the A main, you just can't afford to do that. In the B main, dudes will still make mistakes, or people will still make mistakes, and you can still overtake. So in this one, I start at the back of the grid again. This is two-wheel drive. Now, there's 2 places. Once again, I'm 10th place, first corner. Kept my nose clean, and as you can see here, I'm just kind of just giving myself a bit of space because I knew something would happen here, and lo and behold, carnage. So there I go. I've taken another 3 somewhere. Once again, I take it a bit wide. I'm just trying to stay clean. Give a guy a space, come around. Now I take this easy because I don't want to go crazy, and then again, there's another accident. So I think I'm here. I've picked up 3 or 4 places. Yeah, I'm in 8th or something, so pretty decent. I go wide. I'm driving all right here, and then there's another crash. Now this time I hit it, but I kind of get away with it. Yep, I've at least maintained my position or taken 1, and now I start to settle in. The race is settled, and I'm driving, and I'm just trying to keep distance from this guy behind me. I think that's Bill Ballas, who's a great guy, by the way. But yeah, I was happy he wouldn't hate me. Another guy on his roof. I go wide. I had enough space to do that. Another space. I think at this point, now in this race, I think I get to 3rd at some stage, but by this point I realised my car, it just didn't have the pace, the corner speed. Now when I take it easy, why did it stop? Oh, it's finished. Okay. So, yeah, I think you need to be able to drive within yourself early, but still have decent speed. I think with the stand-up and the two-wheel drive, I kind of didn't have that. So I'm kind of thinking, I'm going to go to the layback. That's my next thing, is working on that, and then go from there. So in the next video, I'll show some of the changes. I'm also going to show my workshop. I've got a really big shed and huge dedicated RC space. So I'll show you where I work and show my tools and all that setup and all the cars I've got. I've got a couple of 1/8 cars as well, and some Tamiya cars, like a wild one and stuff. So I'll do that in my next video as I prepare for the big race, King of the Hills. But yeah, thank you for joining me again. It was super cool. I just want to do another shout out to my sponsor, Campbelltown Hobbies. They've been great. They're on board, so I'm really happy for that and grateful. So yeah, you'll be hearing more about them on the videos. So thank you for Campbelltown. Yeah, so if you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I've got content going to keep coming out. Hope you enjoyed it, and then I'm really looking forward to getting a lot of footage when it comes to King of the Hills, which is in about 8 days' time. So super excited. 2-wheel drive on the Saturday, 4-wheel drive on the Sunday. I've never raced since I've been doing 1/10 a race like this, where I can concentrate for a whole day on one class. They've got a really amazing the way they've done the qualifiers. The format is really cool. It's kind of like the Reedy race in the States. So yeah, there's 2 qualifiers of 4 minutes, which your best consecutive 3 laps across the 2 rocket round is your qualifying spot. And I think there's 5 6-minute finals, and all finals count. So it's going to be mad. So I'm going to, well, obviously I'm aiming for the A main and both. It's going to be a big field again, but I don't think it'll be too much more competitive than the standard club day, because it's going to be a lot of the same drivers. The state title is another thing altogether, but this one, yeah. So I really should be aiming for that, and I am for the A mains for both. So calling it out here. We'll see how we go, and yeah, I'll do another vid later on the week with my build changes and getting ready. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.